I created the website that I did just a little while ago in service to you, my brothers and sisters, fellow humans in this endeavor that we are all trying to work through. There are a lot of things going on right now, um, some of them good, some of them not so good. But the truth is that beyond all of this, all has always been well and will continue to be. Um, I had a revelation just a little while ago, or an epiphany, whatever you want to call it. Um, I was on the train, and I had just had a spiritual experience of some significance. And I got caught looking at my reflection. And all I could do was keep staring into my eyes. And while I was doing that, as I shared in the site, I've got spiritual guides, and they started talking to me. And while I was looking into my eyes, I could see this ring of light around my iris that was bigger, of course, than it's kind of in the very middle. Um, that was a complete and perfect circle. But of course, it was always constantly moving. It never stood still, even though it stayed in one spot. If that makes any sense of the idea of dichotomy, of course, it's kind of what we live in. Um, so, while I was encapsulated and stuck in this moment, I was told some very specific things. That this light that is in our eyes is all we ever have ever been, all we ever will be, and all we are. It truly encompasses the sum total of what you are, which is on the inside, a being of light. And in this world, there are forces that would rather this light be extinguished. And the reason for this is not necessarily out of evil or what we would call bad or darkness. They do not and cannot stand the light that is within our eyes. Us, everyone here, other than, of course, those that are other. We are the bearers of light here on this plane, every single one of us. And it's this light that they can't stand to look at, because they've done everything in their power to extinguish as much of the light within themselves as they can. They know it's there, and they know that they cannot bear to see it. That's why there is nothing to really fear. Looking into your eyes is the last thing that they ever want to do. And the reason for this is it reflects back to them the light that is within them that they don't want to see. So, everybody talks about this plan that's going on, and even if there is one, even if it comes to pass, their idea won't work. Because you see, they too have the same light in their eyes, even if it is faint, and even if it is small, and even if it is far removed from everything within their experience. You see, the less of us that there are, the less that they have to face the truth about themselves. Because there is no difference between them and us. For we are all one. This light that I got the privilege of seeing in depth for the first time ever was by far the most beautiful thing I have seen in the physical realm, anyway. This light is getting brighter and brighter within every single one of us, whether we refuse to see it or not. You see, the thing is that right now, light is coming to our plane, to us, to every single individual in larger and increasing quantities. And even if this plan were to succeed, what would happen is that the less bearers of light that there are, you and I, the more this light within themselves increases. And what would take place, which is so funny, is that the light that they try to extinguish would only be greater and greater, reflected back onto themselves, to the point where they couldn't even bear to look at each other, because for every time that they did, they would be faced with the truth about who and what they really are, who and what we really all are, which is one. There is no difference or separation between you and between me, for it is this light within our eyes that is the true essence of what we are. People say that this is an illusion, and I'm inclined to agree, but it's still real while we're here. And the sooner that we choose to recognize the light that is within us, the more we as a whole, as one, can project this light that is within ourselves out into the created reality around us. And the more light that there is, the less darkness that there is. For the darkness, that what you would call fear, hate, whatever negative emotion you want to associate with it, is only the absence of light. The absence of light is our inability to see that that's what we truly are. I, just as you and everybody else, are just as quote-unquote guilty of not seeing this. But it's always there, always ready, always calling to each and every one of us to recognize the truth that all there really is one. That the only thing this one is love. And that it is through faith, the idea of love and the realization of one can be achieved. So I wanted to put out there to every one of you, which is only a reflection of me and everybody else, to embody as much light as you possibly can, to filter it through your being out into the world around you, projecting it as light and as love, and using your faith in that light and that love to help everybody else realize that it's all that we are, and that we are all one. So with that, I thank you. I thank every single one of you for being here, because without you, I could have never realized anything like this, which is something that we can all realize. So I hope that this message, this idea or this thought radiates with you, resonates with you. And if it does, remember, you have the ability within you to amplify anything that you choose. And it's okay if you choose to amplify everything that this idea isn't. because we're all one. And it's just as much a part of the experience that is necessary for the realization of this idea, that this other idea, this thought that we could lose love, which is where fear comes from, and is not real, because it's just an idea. It seems like a polar opposite, this fear, this darkness. But in reality, when you get outside of this realm, this place of duality, where everything exists in relation to something else, and whatever else is in between that, but that being the extent of existence, what we perceive as light, what we perceive as dark, or good and evil, or right and wrong, are just two evolutionary forces. These evolutionary forces work in tandem with each other. Because you see, if all there was light, then there would be no need for any of this, because we would propel ourselves, rocket, straight into the end of all of this, which would be the realization of the light. And the darkness that we perceive is the other force, which works in unison with evolution. You could call it devolution. Work together so that we evolve at the right, proper, and perfect time for each and every single individual here. Same thing, if you get rid of the light and you only focus on the darkness, and there were no light at all that would happen would be the devolution of everything, which would still, on either end, no matter way you look at it, take everything back to one. One in the smallest sense and one in the grandest sense. Those are the only two things that really truly exist. And no matter what, it's still all the same one. So, in love, in light, and in faith, remember, all is well, has always been well, and forever will be well. Thank you.